Welcome once again to Werewolf the podcast, you wonderful werewolfy type people, you lunatics. Why don't you go down to the description and follow some links to find us on Facebook, to find us on Twitter, X, and Instagram, and TikTok, and wherever else we are. You can also support the show by buying us a coffee through the links, and today we're going to introduce another character from Fenn's past. As you probably know, Fenn's a werewolf soul, and he's been through a lot, and he's been through 5 people to get where he is at the moment with Will. Today we introduce one of my favourite legends of all time, Mr. William Marshal. Yeah, little did we know, the greatest knight that ever lived was a werewolf. Thanks for listening. Please follow, please share, please tell your friends that you listen. I know it's sometimes dodgy telling them that, but you know. Yeah.
I wander my weary way home to end this life of mine. I'm at the end of it all. It's been a journey, but I wish no longer to be part of this world. And I'm ready to take the judgment of my God in his heaven for the things that I have done. I think the good and the godly that I have done far outweigh some of the evils that I've undertaken in order to protect his subjects. My name is William Marshal. I am the first Earl of Pembroke. My life has been one that interests many. I will tell my story as I plod home from London to Caversham to escape this sorrid world. I am tired, and those around me are not good men on whom I can rely. I no longer want to fight the battles of the royal court, where lies, ignorance, and only evil words are used to fight cowardly battles. They no longer use the healthy steel of the sword to fight, but soft words and deceits. It becomes too much. I dream once more of the fights of my youth, where it would be blade on blade, where men would struggle with arms, not words. How can words be so powerful? I despise them, I do. They've become more powerful than armies in the field. I am currently the protector of King Henry III, the young king. I do not mind that, but a much heavier weight has been placed upon my shoulders as the kingdom's regent. I was not born into this. Unlike the 5 kings previous, God has not chosen me for this role, and the responsibility is too much for these tired shoulders to bear. The Lord himself chose those kings to represent him as a regent on earth. I was not chosen. This mantle has fallen on me, unwanted, and in my mind, unwarranted. The first great king I met was not one I served, but one who served me well. As the younger son of my father, I was not to inherit anything of worth, so I had little value to my father, you see. I was only a spare for if my older brother John passed. My father was a strong and hard man. He had left King Stephen's court and supported Empress Matilda in the war of succession between her and the king. King Stephen took me as a hostage to gain the surrender of my father and his castle. My father, as I say, was a hard character and would have allowed me to die rather than surrender his fortifications to Stephen. The king threatened my life, he did. He offered to send me back to my father, but to do so he would send me over the battlements flung by a trebuchet. My father responded to his threats with something that stayed with me all my life it has, and it's the reason for my success. To him, I was valueless, and I could not allow that to be true. Every battle or tournament I fought in and won was down to the following words of my father. I still have the hammer and the anvil with which to forge more and better sons. Yes, those words were harsh, but they've served me well in the success that's followed since he issued them. Those words in the service of my greatest friend and secret, Fenrir. Fenrir made this man this night. Of him, I will tell more as my journey continues. For some unknown reason, King Stephen took pity on me and he could not kill me. I was released after the anarchy ended. The anarchy was just that. Stephen was a true king, a strong and just man. As you can imagine, I was not that excited to rejoin my father, and to be honest, his life had taken a fall to his demise. I journeyed to Normandy, where, as a penniless knight, I joined the household of a great man. He was William de Tonquerville. My stay there was arranged by my mother, who was his cousin, you see. It was here that I began to train as the knight I would become under the eyes of the great man himself, and he treated me more like a son than a retained apprentice. By watching William deal with his courtly duties, I learned a great many things. I learned the politics of the court. I learned that not everything that was said or done was always said or done honestly or with integrity. As an aside from this, I learnt about the chivalric nature of a man, and it would be this code that I would settle my own heart on following, and in some cases contending with for the rest of my days. I was not well liked by the court itself, as I had the ear of the love magnet, so days were difficult there at times, keeping to the code that I'd set myself, and staying within the bounds of the church and its teachings. It was a test that pushed me to my very limits. I was knighted in the year of our Lord 1166. I was 19 years of age, and we were at war against Flanders, who had invaded with ill intent. I was only interested in the fight, and was consumed only by victory in the battle, which took down many proud knights on the field. Many later ridiculed me for my lack of loot and ransom, but I was not interested in that nonsense. Not then. It would have to be a thing of interest later, as it was how a poor knight like myself could make his fortune, you see. I had nothing for the Earl that day as tribute, and he was remorseless in his jest aimed at me. They barbed at me, those brave men. They thought that I was a thing of fun for them, but they all soon realized they had no power compared to that which I wielded when I was on the field. When I was on the field at a tournament, they would all lose their armor and their horses to me. It would have been my turn to laugh at them in the future if I was that kind of a man. I was not. I am better than that. King John was a great man, and I could not refuse his wish for me to mentor the young Henry, to take the task on board, but it does not suit me. And what will I do now at my end? Who will be the steady right arm of the young king? He's not ready to take control himself. He's too young, you see. He's still foolish and not experienced in the ways of the world. He's too trusting, and he thinks they're all there just for him. The journey will give me time to ponder. I am still young in appearance for my age, but that is due to a boon that God gave to me when I was young. His name is Fenrir. No one but yourselves will know anything about him. Not even my beautiful lady knows about the friend that heaven has given me. Why, you ask, do I keep him secret? His form and his nature would make most think that he is a being of evil. They do not realize that all angels are not dressed in golden armor or have feathered wings. If they could see my angel, most would think that a demon possessed me. They would cast me from my faith. They may even punish me, not realizing that Fenrir has helped me maintain God's own land. He has helped me in the collection of my fortune. He has helped me in making those decisions that this land has been won upon. He has helped me in the Crusades. He is more godly than all men I know. A noble creature. If you know nothing of my angel, he is the soul of a wolf from before. An original creature of the Garden of Eden, and one of the beasts of the Ark, one of the few beasts that survived the flood. God immortalized him and released him into the world to help man and his minions. He spoke to me in the dark days of my youth, he did. He was a lonely wanderer, put upon this earth to help man. He himself is a lost soul from his own people, you see. He lopes along beside me and my horse, another set of eyes on the road, another mind to plan and pledge. At first he set me full of fret. A giant creature he is. A wolf like him I have never seen similar. He has 5 arm spans from nose to tail. He is dark as the iron hue of soot and has eyes of bright fire. A giant wolf upon this world. He amazes me oft. He is not seen by many but me and cannot touch any other person's head or heart. He wanders through wall and barricade as though it does not exist, you see. Others have seen him, but only the mad murmurs or the wise. He grants me so much power. He maintains my youth. Have I said I am 70 summers, yet I look like a man in his most vital of years? The wolf I thought was a darker being at first. He has to be a hidden secret that only God and I share. I can become the beast, but in reserve, I say that beast is tamed by my wants and needs. I can become a physical wolf when he shares my body, and it has been a boon in many circumstances. To this very day, hunting with Fen in my head together in that creature's skin is most thrilling. To take a deer as a man is great, but I cannot explain the joy of doing so as a wolf. To take it down bodily with tooth and claw, to rip and rend the flesh. A guilty pleasure it is not. I can become half man and half wolf. A thing of evil, I first thought, but then I learned that this monster of mind lived only my will. The will of a godly man. And as such, this beast does do good works. But Fen and I will part when we arrive. I have done my work, and he will leave. He grieves at the thought, and has argued many a valid point. But I am tired. My human soul is done. It is time for this one to move on. The thing I most respect about my wolf friend, and my wife actually, is that they both understand this need. A need to end. To move on. Oh, I will not be taking my own life. That is the greatest sin. Once Fen goes, time will catch up with me. Old age will bring its gifts. A death. A worthy death, surrounded by those I love the most. not a death of pain on some foreign field. I move now to a new adventure in God's realm. And so we wander now, side by side, the final journey for the finest of friends. I'll miss you, Fenrir. I hope you know that.